All right, so this is for anybody who was stuck on lesson 16 exit ticket. We're going to go over the problems. I'm going to give you some example problems that are almost identical to the ones on the exit ticket. So that if you do these with me as I go over them, then you copy down all the information into your notebook, you should be able to score at least a 4, if not a 3. At least a 3, if not a 4, on this exit ticket. So let's go ahead and get started by reading the directions before we actually read the questions. So it wants us to mark the text by underlining keywords and then write an expression using variables and or numbers for each of the statements below. And so our first statement is Kendra drew X amount of circles, then took a break and drew V more. So we're going to mark the text by underlining the keywords that we're going to need to translate into math terms. So those are things like variables and or numbers, okay, and keywords. All right, so the keywords here are drew X amount of circles, then took a break and drew V more, okay? So more is definitely a keyword. X is a variable, okay? V is a variable, and we don't have any numbers in here. So a lot of you guys got this one correct. This would just be X representing the amount of circles that Kendra drew. She took a break, and then we can translate more into the plus sign or addition. So then you go ahead and you put your plus sign in. So drew more. Well, how many more did she draw? We don't know how many more she drew, but we know that V represents the amount more that she drew. So it's going to be X plus V. And a lot of you guys, if you didn't get any right on this X ticket, you at least got this one right. So I was very happy with that. So the next one we have here is number 2. And again, these are examples, so I've changed the operators and in some cases the quantities that we're working with. So number 2 is a number H is doubled, then increased by 4. So there's some key vocabulary terms in here. And what I'm going to do for these ones is I'm actually going to go red for keywords. Let me get that looking better. Red for keywords, blue for variables, and green for numbers, okay? So let's go ahead and color code that underlining in our statement here. So a number H is our variable. Oops, wrong color. H is doubled, keyword here, doubled. Then, that is also a keyword, then. Increased, another keyword, by 4, our number. So let's go ahead and make that into a written statement. So H is doubled, meaning we're going to have not one H, but we're going to have 2 H's because it's doubled. So to show that, we are going to write first H. And actually, let's keep the color coding going on here. We'll go H, and then doubled is 2. And then it is increased. Then it is increased, meaning we add 4 to that. So it is 2h plus 4. 2h plus 4. Remember that the double is going to happen first. It doesn't really matter what order we have it in because PEMDAS is going to say that multiplication happens before addition. So our third one here is Sally bought S pizza slices and combined them with J pizza slices. She then splits them equally among her 8 friends. So let's go and look, make sure that we have the color coordination down, and let's go ahead and underline some of the stuff that we need here. So we'll start off with the keywords. So Sally bought S pizza slices. That means she has them. She bought them. She didn't sell them. She bought S pizza slices and combined them with J pizza slices. Okay, then she splits them equally among her 8 friends. Let's see what sort of variables we have in here. So we have S, which equals the amount of pizza she bought, and then J, which is the amount that she combined with the pizzas that she bought. And we have no more variables here, but we do have some numbers. So she splits them among 8 friends. So first off, this is saying that Sally bought pizza slices and then got more pizza slices because she combined them. When we combine things, we bring them together, we make more of what we had before. So if I combine flour and eggs in a bowl to make a batter, I'm not taking those away, I'm adding them. So combine is a word that means add, okay? Bought does not mean to sell, so that means that she already had them. That is positive, okay? It's not negative. Splits, when we split something up, if I have a pizza that's cut into 1/3, and I have 3 friends, I can split that pizza up so that each friend has a 1/3 slice. So split means to divide. Okay, so we know that division is going to be part of this. Okay, so let's take a look here. If we have addition and division, what do they want us to do? Well, the first thing that they say is that Sally bought S pizzas. So we know that Sally has S amount of pizzas, and she is going to combine those pizzas, okay, with J pizza slices. So we don't know how much J is, but that's why we used the unknown or the variable J. Then, so this all has to happen first. Okay, this all has to happen first. And if we're using PEMDAS, what is one of the ways that we make sure that something happens first? So PEMDAS tells us that the first thing that's going to happen in our order of operations is that parentheses will come first, exponents will come second, multiplication will become third, division is after multiplication if it's going left to right, and then addition and subtraction. Addition is before subtraction if going left to right. What it's saying right now, let me just make sure that we remember that these are left to right dependent. So remember, they always are going left to right, just like we do a normal math problem. But if we want to make sure that the addition, as it says inside of our word problem, we want to make sure that the addition comes first. What can we do to ensure that the addition comes before the splitting up? So Sally's getting pizza slices combined together before she goes to split them among her friends. So in order to do that, we want to make sure that this equation is in parentheses, so that when we do it, we solve for it, we won't end up solving what a lot of you guys did, which is S, a lot of you guys put 8 divided, oh, no, sorry. This is what a lot of you guys did. S plus J divided by 8. Okay? If we did it and followed the orders of operations, what would be our first operation that we would do? Well, it would be division. So the problem would really be J divided by 8 first, so whatever J divided by 8 was, and if we wanted to rewrite that, we could just say J divided by 8, or sorry, it is J divided by 8, okay, S plus J divided by 8. And that is not actually our problem. This is not what we're doing. Why aren't we doing that? Well, because we're not seeing what the additional slices of pizza divided up by 8 are equal to after you add in the amount of pizzas that Sally bought. We want to see, after Sally collected all these pizzas, okay, what's happening with the pizzas? Well, they're getting split up after she's collected all the pizzas. So we have to get all the pizzas combined first and then do the splitting. And she split them up amongst her 8 friends. So then when we go to solve, we solve in the parentheses first and then divide it out by 8. Okay? It's not S plus J divided by 8 like we showed down here, because that would be J divided by 8 plus S. So I hope that one makes sense. We got 2 more that we're going to look at. Remember to pause, rewind, make sure all this information is copied down into your math journal. There's no excuse. You can press pause. You want to make sure that you're going through all these practice problems with me so that you're ready to take the exit ticket. So for number 4, we have something like 12 less than the quotient of D and C. So this is a shorter one, but let's still take out our color-coded highlighting tools. So right off the bat, we have a number. Go ahead and 12. And then less than, that is a keyword. Less is a negative. We're subtracting. Less than the quotient. Okay, the quotient. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. Okay? So when you're looking at something like 25 divided by 5 equals 5, 5 is the quotient. That's really sloppy. Quotient. The stylus is not working as well as I want it to. So quotient. Answer to a division problem. Please make sure you have this example copied down. This is going to help you tremendously if you don't know what the word quotient means. And then we have of D and C. So we got our two variables right here. Okay? So we can actually say, and a lot of you guys did this. You followed it, which I can't blame you, and I'm not like getting super negative about this. A lot of you just wrote it straight out across like you read it. Okay? There's some things that are wrong with that. So you guys wrote it 12, and then you put less than right here, the quotient of D divided by C. Well, stylus is not working well, and it is making my handwriting even more sloppy than what it usually is. Okay, so a lot of you guys did that, and that is incorrect, because this is actually saying D, the quotient of D and C less than 12, because you're taking the quotient of D and C and you're actually subtracting it from 12. Okay? So this is not saying to subtract the quotient of D and C from 12. It is saying that you will be subtracting 12 from the quotient of D and C. That is why it's 12 less than. So if you're subtracting 12 from something, you write it as minus 12, because that means that you are subtracting 12. If I have $12 less than what I had in my bank account yesterday, and my bank account equals B, and I say, oh, okay, well, I have 12 less dollars than what was in my bank account. Okay, and that is equal to B. It is going to be B minus 12, because I'm going to be subtracting $12 out of my bank account. I am not going to be subtracting my bank account from 12. That doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't take my whole bank account away from $12. In fact, I'm actually taking $12 out of my bank. So that is wrong, which makes this one wrong. So how do we finish this off? Well, if it's minus 12, we have to find out, or we have to outline what the rest of this is going to look like. And the rest of this is the quotient of D and C. So how do we show the quotient of D and C? Well, if quotient is the answer of a division problem, then all we got to do is give a division problem. We can do that in two ways. We can say D divided by C minus 12, or we can do D, use the red line, D over C minus 12. But if you don't do it the way that it's written out, you will end up solving the problem wrong. So let's say that you did it. Let's look back at this bank account example. Let's say you did this with a bank account, and you went, oh, okay, well, you know, it's 12 less dollars than what was in my bank account, which is equal to B. So I minus my bank account. Let's say I have $150 in my bank account. Well, now I'm taking 150 away. So let's say that B represents 150. That's how much I have in my bank, $150. So that's going to make sense. We can take 12 away from 150. But if we try to take 150 away from 12, we're going to end up in the negatives. So we're actually going to end up negative $138, I believe. I'm just doing this in my head, so I could be wrong. As of here, we'll end up with positive $138. So that can make a huge difference between you owing and not owing. But again, remember, this one is wrong. We're subtracting from the bank account 12 less dollars than what was in my bank account. Okay? So make sure that you do it in this matter. And a lot of people, I wrote the comment, when you're subtracting, order matters. You can't just do it in any order you want. Let's move on to the next one. So most of you guys got this one right. I don't know if anybody actually got this wrong. So let's take a look at just underlining the keywords, the variables, and the numbers here. So the first thing is April's hair was 11 inches long. Okay, long, meaning that is a positive. That is something that she has. That's going to be a positive number. Then she cuts off, okay, which is a negative. She's taking it, and actually it could be that whole term. Cuts off V inches, okay? So number, we got 11, okay? And variable, we have V. So if she has 11 inches, we know that's going to be a positive number. She has 11 inches, okay? It's 11 inches long. Now she cuts off, which we said is going to be taking away or subtraction. She cuts off V inches. Okay? And so most everybody got this right. It's just 11 minus V. 11 is what she had. V is what is being taken off. So again, this was just some review here on what we went over. Please make sure to go through it, pause, rewind, watch it again, watch it again, watch it again, and make sure that you are familiar with all the different terms that are being used in here.